the force. So what is force? Force is a push or a pull. The terms stretch and squeeze also denote force. Force can also be defined as an external agent which can change the state of rest or motion of a body. So force can be defined as also what? As an external agent which has the capacity to change the state of rest or motion of a body. A force has both magnitude and direction. The direction in which the force is applied is called the direction of force. So the direction in which the force is applied, and that direction is called what? The direction of force. The point where the force is applied on an object is called the point of application of force. Then we have how force is measured and what is its SI unit. So force is measured using a spring balance, and the SI unit of force is Newton, and it is sometimes denoted as N. Then we have the effects of force. So there are basically 5 effects of force. So let us see what are they. A force can make a body at rest move. So this means that when a body is at rest and if we apply force to it, the body will move. Second effect, a force can stop a moving body or slow it down. So for example, if a body is moving and we want to stop it or slow it down, for that we have to apply a force. So next we have a force can make a moving body move faster. For example, a body is moving and we want it to move at a faster rate. So what we will do? We will apply a force to it so that the body moves faster than it was moving earlier. Then we have a force can change the direction of the moving body. So if a body is moving on the right direction and if we want to change its direction, we will apply a force in the left side, and as a result what will happen? The body will start moving on the left side. Previously it was moving on the right side and we wanted to move it on the left side, so we applied the force. So now it is moving on the left side. Then the last effect we have is that a force can change the shape and size of a body. So by applying a force, we can change the shape as well as the size of our body. So these are the 5 major effects of force. Next we have the types of forces. So force can be divided into 2 types on the basis of their application. So what are the 2 types? The 2 types are contact forces and non-contact forces. So now we will study like detailed manner about the contact forces and the non-contact forces. Yes, now the contact forces. Forces which act on a body either directly or through a connector are called what? Contact forces. So the forces which are acting on a body, it can directly act on the body or it can indirectly act on the body through a connector, and those forces are called contact forces. So what are the example of contact forces? Muscular force. So muscular force is an example of contact force. So for example, we want to move a book on the top of the table. So what we will do? We will lift the book with our hands by using the muscles of our hands, and we will keep the book on the table. So this is muscular force. Then we have mechanical force and we have frictional force, which are all the examples of contact forces. The forces applied by the muscles of the body is called the muscular forces. As I have told that when we want to move a book or anything like from one place to another, or a bag from ground to our backside. So at that time we will have to lift the bag with our muscles which are present in the hands. So this is known as what? The muscular force. We make use of muscular force of animals like bullocks, horses and camels to get our activities done. So for example, we have seen in the villages the cows and the buffaloes are doing in their work in the irrigation field by, and it helps the farmers. So these animals also help the farmers by the use of this muscular force to get our activities done. The force generated by a machine is called mechanical force. So the force which is generated by a machine is known as what? Mechanical force. So these are about the contact forces, and it is very much important for us. Then we have the non-contact forces. So non-contact forces, forces which act through space without making the direct contact with the body are called non-contact forces. So by looking at the word only non-contact, we can understand that there is no direct touching. So forces which act through space, and like for example, as if it is acting through space, it is not making direct contact with the body. So these forces are called what? These forces are called non-contact forces. Now we have the gravitational force, electrostatic force and magnetic force, which are examples of non-contact forces. So gravitational force, as we also know that we can stand on the ground due to this gravitational force which pulls our body in the bottom of the earth so that we can stand upright. In space there is no gravitational force, so we cannot stand in space. So gravitational force is very much important, and it is an example of non-contact forces. The forces exerted by a magnet on magnetic material or other materials is called non-contact forces. So when we bring an iron in front of a magnet, it gets attracted, and this attraction and this phenomena is due to the magnetic force. The force associated with electrically charged bodies are called electrostatic force. So the force which is mainly associated with electrically charged bodies or electrically charged particles is known as what? Electrostatic force. So magnetic force and electrostatic force are non-contact force as they act on an object from a distance. So it is acting on an object from a distance. Which forces? The magnetic forces and electrostatic forces. The force of gravity is an attractive force exerted by the earth on objects due to which objects fall on the ground. So when we throw a ball upwards, after some period of time it will fall to the ground. This is why this is due to the gravitational force which is present on the earth. But in space, if we throw a ball upwards, the ball will not return back to the ground because there is no gravitational force in the space. So this is all about the two types of forces, the contact forces and the non-contact forces. So that is all about force. So thank you so much.